Hello everyone and welcome to another Hazard Productions video, and I will see you next week. No, I'm just kidding. That's a little inside joke between me and a few supporters I have of my small but hopefully growing video channel on YouTube here. Today we're going to be playing some Anno 2070. We're going to be playing the third mission of Atomic Terror Global Event, which for me was actually pretty difficult the first few times I tried to play it. But then I looked online and there were actually a few decent proposals for some people. But I'll shut up for the beginning part.
The target coordinates.
I should have just skipped this, but I don't know why I filmed it.
I gotta admit, you're harder to get rid of than a tick. But I'm afraid the whole superhero thing's gonna end in this sector. Our headquarters is impregnable. The World Council made a fatal mistake sending you into the lion's den.
The World Council has full confidence in your abilities. Your directive? Fastest possible neutralization of the pirate harbor in this sector.
The Eden Initiative has a special...
As you can see, they give you quite a bit of starting supplies here for this mission. They give you 2 trading ships and your command ship. So there isn't much startup stalling time. So you can actually get started on your civilization really quickly on this mission, which is pretty refreshing actually. And normally when I build these towns I tend to go fairly designy, but on this mission I just decided to do it really quick and not very design inclined on this part. Basically your goal here is just to create a fairly large population as quick as you can, and then really you're only trying to get to the second level. And I would recommend auto-saving quite a bit when you're playing this mission, because you never know when you're going to get raided on or whatever. Or not auto-saving, quick saving, which is the F5 button by default. It actually saves quite a bit of time if, you know, whenever you're going to go out and try to attack them, just quick save it real quick, and then you don't have to worry about if you lose a ship or 2 and you don't want to have to rebuild one. And I'm going to be doing a couple different layouts of these production chains, and I got all of these
Energy
ideas
supply
from
inadequate.
the people at the Wikia website for Anno 2070, and it's actually really helpful because it lays out all the production chains for you and also gives you the ratios of the items you'll need for making tools and weapons and everything else, so you'll know exactly how much places you'll need to put down for each material you want. There's actually a few times during this video where I forget that I still have stuff loaded up on my ships. So that's another thing you have to look out for, is the first warehouse you have doesn't even have enough room for all of the items you have on your ship. So when you're doing the placement of your city and stuff like that when you first start, just remember that you can still load them from your ship and you don't have to take time and wait like I did in this video, stupidly. But it gives me time to set up my tea production. And I guess as far as this video is concerned, or this mission is concerned, it doesn't really matter if you're the Tycoons or Eco, because we're going to be using mainly commando ships, and we're also going to buy the Colossus ship from, what's his name, the Tycoon guy.
I know the situation is very serious.
New buildings available for construction. Energy supply inadequate.
And I actually got really lucky on the placement of this one. It was right on the border of where I couldn't place any more down, so I was pretty happy with that. And then I mess up there, but I don't really care.
You ready to roll on this quest?
And I love how she just throws it out there. Hey, you gonna do this or what? The best thing to do on this mission is to get your population growing right away, because you'll need that extra tax money, and really the only reason we're making such a big population here, what you'll see later in the video, is because we just need it for the ship cap, so that we can make more ships. And I think eventually I'm going to make like either 8 or 9 ships, I think. I don't know. Another thing too is to watch out for your energy production. I know there's a few times I forget that I don't have very much energy, so then I don't have my production going at all. So that's another thing to keep on top of on this mission.
Warning. Need for community not met.
And I do apologize, this video is probably going to get pretty long. So in the description I'll be putting some bookmarks so that people can skip ahead if they want to some better points. But I'm just showing you pretty much everything I did when I beat it. 'Cause it was actually really simple when I just beat it a little while ago. And if I yawn, I'm sorry. It's really late here. And I have not been sleeping very well lately. It's only midnight, but it feels like a lot later than that.
Registering change in demographics.
I use the
Are you smiling because you completed good work?
speed
really?
up time button on this game quite a bit too. It helps out if you're waiting for a specific building material to be made, or something like that. And generally when I make tool shops, I do 2 iron ore mines and 1 coal mine to... I can't remember what I'm going to put down here. I think it's 2 smelters and then 2 tool shops, and then I'll put 2 munitions depots down too. And one thing that kind of stinks about this mission is really the only island that's halfway decent is the one you're settled on. The rest of them have minus 600
Energy
eco
supply
balance.
inadequate.
So you can barely grow anything there, and for the first half of the game there's just so many enemy pirate boats that are patrolling around that there's really no possibility of having a trade route set up without constantly watching it, and I just don't like doing that, so. For the ecos, tools are really important right away because the faster you get your population build up, the faster you can complete the mission. So having some decent tool production is really important, because the houses, when they upgrade, need the tools. So I'm going to set up some buying of building materials, and eventually I'll set up some tools too, I think. And you don't need too much wood, but I set up a few of them by my warehouse just to get some wood for the...
Negative environmental influences reduce
I
fertility.
think I'm going to set up some munitions factories, and I'm actually not going to worry about the health food or the communicators because I'm not going to advance past the 2nd level. And there's the ship that we're going to buy, but right now it's pretty expensive and I'm not really ready.
The uncontrolled release of
support
radioactive
it with
material
any
would have a devastating impact
of
on
my
use of
smaller ships
long-range
or anything
missile.
like that. So we're just going to keep building our city and hopefully not get run over by any raids. They tend to send a bunch of ships at you, and this AI is probably some of the, I don't want to say the smartest AI that I've faced in this game, but it's definitely not like a pushover AI. They will actually invade your territory and surround
From
you.
scanner to sonar.
And you'll actually get an alert up in the right-hand corner, know, saying Scorpio has invaded your territory or whatever. And there's not really any way you can outrun it, but I'm gonna build up some shore defenses here in a little while once I get my munitions factories started. And
Game
usually when you
saved.
have that, they tend not to come into your warehouse or wherever your base is. So you can kind of hide your ships behind there until you're ready to move out.
New buildings available for construction.
Well, I'm gonna build another building supplies setup over here, just so I don't have to wait so much before I can build some more houses. And you could go and buy them from the SAAT guys and the Tycoon people and the Eco people, but I don't really have any ships to protect me while I'm going to those
Registering
places, so I'm just gonna
energy
build them
shortage.
myself. And it's not like it's costing me that much to build them myself, so I'm just gonna do it. Generally, one of those T productions that I have laid out up there is decent for both of my cities I'm going to build, but since pretty much everything uses building supplies, especially the ships I'm going to be building, it's pretty helpful that I have these laid out here. And in case you didn't know, in order to change the layout of the things you're placing, it's the comma and period keys on your keyboard that allow you to do that. I actually had to look in the options menu to figure that one out.
There's an element of risk involved. That is why I am asking.
Hopefully we get this city built up pretty soon. I just need like 2 more rows of houses and we should be good. And I'm generally only building the ones that are under the influence of the concert hall. I could build more, but it's kind of a waste of building material. And I'm gonna go down here and make some, put another coal mine up, and I think I'm gonna put another iron mine up so that we can have better iron production for tools and the munitions we're gonna be building here in a few seconds. And really the only reason I'm not advancing past the second tier is you don't really get any
Registering energy shortage.
you don't really get anything better from it as far as ships that you can build.
Registering
I'm
need for
actually
community
not sure
centers.
how much better the hovercrafts are against these ships versus the commandos, but that's pretty much all you really need for this mission. I wish you didn't have to build depots to build roads. It's one thing I would change about this game for sure.
Warning. Registering depopulation.
And again, I'm not going for beauty, I'm just going for productivity, so that little crappy road there doesn't
Additional
take too much
buildings
skin off my
now
back.
available.
Alright, one town down and one to go. And it's a good idea to put the eco employees up to the yellow tax mark. That way you get a little extra money from them. Because they're not going to be advancing anyway. Almost enough. There we go. Put 2 of these down, you're generally good to go. And again, I'm not paying attention to my power. It's not helping my tool production at all, but I think I notice it eventually. And put down a depot for increased pickup. And generally when I build these harbor turrets, I wait until I have enough to build like 2 or 3 at least. Because the AI in this mission, if he notices that you have a few harbor turrets down and a few ships behind it, he'll try to come to attack. But once you put down enough, then he kind of stays back.
Alert. Registering attack on one of your vehicles.
And the sudden but always expected raid completely unprotected ships at the beginning. I guess I'm not sure how far I'm into the game yet, but it usually happens around the same time once you either get a bunch of ships or,
Come on, time to die.
you know, or once you start to have quite a bit of people or supplies. I really don't know what triggers him
Vehicle
sending those
destroyed
raids,
in
but
battle.
at the beginning you pretty much can't defend against it.
Warning, vehicle under attack.
And you pretty much
Energy
just let him die
supply
because there's nothing you can
inadequate.
do anyway.
Why am I arming these missiles when you're so easy to defeat?
Registering need for community centers. Vehicle destroyed in battle. Attention. Population leaving the city.
And once again, all you're really concerned about is having them inside the influence area of your concert hall. So if you can get them upgraded to the second level, that's going to help out your population cap for your ships.
At your service.
You will see that you can reduce energy consumption without sacrificing effectiveness.
And I really wanted to have that production building increase, but I decided to take the energy reduction instead because that was the only one I could afford. And I was just making a little bit more room for putting down turrets and stuff, just extending the harbor area with a port authority.
Game saved.
And it's really easier on your energy and also your budget and everything like that if you turn all these off until you're actually under attack. And now for a shipyard. And a few more fishing docks. Just to help with the food supply. And that should be enough.